We've had ourselves a very exciting Dust 2, followed up by an even more chaotic Nuke, and I cannot wait to get into Overpass. It's personally my favorite map to commentate and watch Blair, and I'm really excited to see what these ladies have in store for us now that we move into our all-important third map decider.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with you. I feel like we both have great taste buds. I love Overpass as well. It's my favorite map to play too. I feel it really allows so many variations in how you can be on on the CD side, on the T side. I think it was a Maui or Fu who mentioned how Overpass is a map just meant for a 6v6, and I do agree. There's so many openings, avenues available for the Ts to kind of abuse. At the same time, for the CTs, it also allows a lot of tricks you can play. You can just have a lot of mind games and whatnot. And after what we witnessed on Nuke, after what we saw both those teams showcase on the CD side, I'm expecting a lot of aggression. I'm seeing a lot of fights take place towards Connected, towards Fountain, towards B Short. It's going to be chaotic.
Oh, if this is the map that's really passive, I'm going to be very confused. Because as you said, this is the one that I think affords CTs in particular way more say in how the early real estate comes down. Connector is going to be a very pivotal part of this map. And I think on both teams, both Violent Roses and Dignitas will want to fight for this most rounds, especially considering that we've had a lot of these kind of Force buy rounds, these Tech 9 buy rounds come into play. This should be a great game. This should be a great watch. Whether Dignitas can get into a little bit more of their comfort zone is yet to be seen. I think Violent Roses have actually done a very good job of taking them out of their comfort zone wherever possible and putting them into these very murky waters where they maybe don't feel 100% comfy. But again, that's to be seen, right? I'm not entirely sure actually who starts on which side. Obviously, this being a decider, is it knife sides or has it already been established?
I do believe that's the case, knife rounds.
Okay, yeah. I see. So yeah, I mean, starting on CT or T side is going to have quite a bit of variance as well on how these teams come out. What we have seen though as well, Blair, is even when it comes to pistol rounds, they've been pretty even. The mechanical aim and skill of Violent Roses is not significantly below Dignitas. So we can't even look at pistols and say, well, Dignitas are easily off to a 3-0 start. Like, we have no idea what happens in that sense.
Oh yeah, for sure. When it's a map where both the teams are kind of comfortable on, it's going to be, I feel, very even. And I believe it was both Potter and Miss Harvey who brought up the fact that Dignitas, they call themselves, I believe, the Queens of Dust 2, right? I mean, we're very, very comfortable on that map, and yet they lost 16-14. And they got to be a little wary of that. Heading into Overpass, I don't know how deep the map pool is for Violent Roses, but with Andrea at the helm, I'm not too scared for them. They look fantastic. But one player who I really haven't seen much from yet so far is Sholiana. I feel that Des brought it out as well. She's had a very, very quiet, very cold start to this game, while it's been primarily Rain and Thea who's been, I wouldn't say hard carrying, because Emily and Milk has been chipping in as well. But I would like to see the Brazilian step up over here.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think in terms of the stats, she is currently bottom on both teams with rating and all the important kind of stats alongside it. But I'm also not necessarily going to look at stats as like the be all and end all. I think positionally, she's been playing in a lot of awkward angles where, like over on the B side of the map for Dust 2, for example, where you're often going to be kind of more of a periphery player looking for a lot of sort of counter engagements and retakes, and it can be really brutal. But it would be good to see her really show up, because I think in terms of mechanics, she is a very, very good player and has had a bit of an off game. Rain has been very impressive alongside Andrea. They're actually coming into Overpass, both have 47 kills, both have very similar ADR, high 80s, low 90s. So going blow for blow with their adversaries. Very, very exciting setup to Overpass kicking off.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I'm still waiting to see which team's going to be starting on the CD side here. If it's Violent Roses, I'm expecting aggression, like non-stop aggression coming out from them, right? They're going to try and make Dignitas feel as uncomfortable as possible. I feel Overpass as well at the highest levels of Counter-Strike. It's a map where it's not as CD-sided as Train is, but I feel it does tend to favor the CD side a little bit more, the opportunities which presents itself. And it could be two very different stories, right? It could be the fact that if it is going to be Violent Roses starting on the CD side, they get off to a crazy start, and then they just kind of, just make life very uncomfortable on the T side for their opponents. Or knowing Dignitas and knowing that they do on paper at least have a deeper map pool, they might just just put up a complete masterclass on the CD side and shut things down. But for me, primarily the point I'm trying to make here is the CD side is what's going to decide things, and I'm curious to see which team's going to be starting on the defending side.
Yeah, I would say Overpass is probably like a 9-6, maybe. Maybe some teams can kind of grind out 10 rounds on the CT side, but for the most part, I would agree. I think it's more of a CT-sided map. What I would also say, though, is what we kind of saw be the downfall of Violent Roses on that nuke performance was their T-half. It felt like they ran out of ideas. I think they discussed this on the desk as well, that they had a set goal to start off with, and then the second that things kind of went awry, it's like, well, we don't really have a plan B. You know, we either push forward and die, or we kind of sit in position and we die. So I'm hoping on Overpass they're a little bit more fluid. I hope that they can tweak things on the fly. They can have those mid-round calls like really on point, because that's what I was most surprised and also impressed with on their Dust 2. They kept making these crazy reads out of nowhere. We saw them constantly play very, very slowly, draw out the utility of Dignitas, and then ultimately execute with 10, 20, 30 seconds left. And they always seem to be in the right place at the right time. That was completely absent on Nuke, and I need to see more of that on Overpass.
Yeah, I mean, Nuke obviously being their opponent's pick, I guess they didn't have enough prep time on it. But yeah, Overpass being the decider, I still don't know who is the in-game leader for the side of Violent Roses, but yeah, whoever she is, like, impressive stuff coming out from her. I do believe the knife round has been won by Violent Roses, so unless I'm very much mistaken here, Vince, they should be, they should be choosing the CD side.
I would imagine so, Blair, but unfortunately we do need to cut back to a break as there's some technical issues. We'll find out all of that and so much more after a few moments.
Ladies, put your hands in the sky, raise them up. Put your hands in the sky so I can see them. Ladies, put your hands in the sky, raise them up. Put your hands together, put your hands together, put your hands together. Come on, ladies, come on, girl, put your hands together. Put your hands together, put your hands together. Come on, ladies, round them up. Hey, we are a unit unstoppable. We are a unit of choice. We are a unit that's powerful. Nothing can stop the force. Put your hands together. Come on, ladies, come on, girl. Put your hands together. Put your hands together. Put your hands together. Come on, ladies, round them up. Hey, we are a unit unstoppable. We are a unit of choice. We are a unit that's powerful. Nothing can stop the force. This is for my ladies round the world, all across the globe. All around the world. For my ladies round the world. Put your hands together. Come on, ladies, come on, girl. Put your hands together. Put your hands together. Put your hands together. Come on, ladies, round them up. Put them up. Raise them high.
technical issues have been fixed and bypassed, and it is my delight to tell you that we are ready to jump into our third map. Blair, it's Overpass. It should be an absolute banger, and as you can see, Violent Roses did win the knife, as you said, and they picked the CT side.
They did indeed. Kit, 3 flashbangs, a Molotov purchase for the CT side, and just one player towards was a bomb side. It's going to be Senna. Is running out towards Fountain, trying to spot someone, and we do have Milk. She is the point person, trying to find some. Oh, the timing of the Senna could have potentially spotted out a player, but instead she's seen nothing yet so far. Aggression from Violent Roses early on. Alightis from Dignitas. They're forcing Violent Roses to keep guessing as to where this hit might be coming towards, but it looks like the A bomb set is going to be just a ruse. There's a flashbang, and they're trying to sell the fake, but the rotation hasn't taken place towards B yet. Vince, Andrea still going to be holding fort here.
Holding the fort with a couple more. And together, maybe this crossfire can be good enough, but she's basically been left alone, stranded, dangled on the end of the rod. Hasn't fully been devoured just yet. So many bullets whizzing past heads, but now Dignitas are claiming frags left and right, leaving just Senna. Typically pixel perfect with the AWP, but now has to make this Glock work, deciding to pick up the Glock instead so that she can get those full 20 bullets. In effect, up close range. First kill goes her way, but there's Emily on the wide swing, and Dignitas claim first blood in our deciding map.
That round was just so back and forth. In the end, it came down to them needing to hit their shot, and you saw it as well, Vince. The aim was a little off for a couple of those players on the bomb side. Rune, Andrea, especially someone who I would have put money on her, like at least getting a couple of kills there. But unfortunately, it was Rain. 3K for her, and even the 1v3, they played it to perfection, not really giving a chance for Senna to potentially get the clutch. It is going to be the force Y, of course, coming out from Violent Roses once more. 5s, 7s galore. Ash with a Deeg. And Kyler going to be facing a number of players here, and she's all alone.
Behind enemy lines. Did a lot of damage, though. I mean, look at the health bars. Thea, Sholiana, and Milk all taking a little bit. That softens them up for the rest of the 5.7s and upgraded pistols. But yeah, I'm never a huge fan of having one player out on tree like that and the rest of your team kind of basically playing passive on A. I feel like crossfires, or at least like a bait and switch, is in order. But good flashbang. Works out well for Violent Roses, albeit tossed from the tees. Now Andrea has to put that deagle to use. I believe that she would land at least one after her aim in this best of 3 has been nothing short of stellar. But Ash and Rune have got to try and chime together for this 2v4 retake. Separate avenues of aggression through bank and the dumpster. But Rune's already fired off a couple of warning shots, and that costs her life. Now Ash, unfortunately, doesn't ever really have a chance. Was getting sprayed through the wall and then finished off by a Milk.
Shout out to Milk for using the highly underrated MP7. Everyone goes for the MP9, Vince. No one goes for the MP7. That makes me sad. But she gets a nice 4K there. And bearing in mind, that was, of course, a pistol armor investment. And she's going to be a very nice teammate and drops an AK over to one of her team members, and she's going to hold on to the MP7, go for more kills, farm that cash.
It's a good round to do it as well. Very low investment, only one Kevlar in play, goes in first, but Milk gets the 1-for-1. MP7 now trades hands, and Molly's being tossed into bathroom. This will isolate the rest of the CTs, and the flashbangs behind it. Senna nearly maybe threaded a headshot, but never really had any hope at more than that. 4v3, Violent Roses still have a little bit to play with, but you don't expect Dignitas to slip at this point. Surely not.
Playing it safe, they're making a lot of noise. Bomb on Emily. She's the last player down. She should be running back with the rest of her teammates, and Ash, she hears all of this. She knows what they're going to be heading towards. The problem is they're wasting no time. They're just going to be holding W, pushing onto the bomb side, and Ash, the door's been shut in her face as well. And the moment she opens it, it's going to be a tell. Although, I don't think they would have heard it in all the commotion. There was a whirl where she just ran on down. She maybe might have been able to prevent the bomb from getting planted. But she does find Thea. That's big. Gun retrieved. And it's just a Galil, and they're going to just hunt her down, Vince. Oh.
They don't have a kit between the two of them, so I mean, even if they do get a bit of success in terms of frags, the round should not be going their way. Ash tries to hunt in for the low rain, But contextually, Blair, that's actually a really solid outcome. You get 3 kills basically with just some pistols. That's not bad at all.
That's not bad at all. And considering the force buy, they just got the 1 frag. I think, yeah, they just got the 1 kill if I'm not mistaken. So that's absolutely a win for the side of Violent Roses, considering the investment they had. And now the buy. No AWPs. Early smoke, which will be quickly extinguished by the T side. And they're going to be sending up Thea. Young Thea just pushing on up with an AK-47. And not leaving anyone towards offset towards B, cons, nothing. Just working as a pack together here, Vince. And that is something which Violent Roses could try and abuse perhaps later on. Kyla, lucky not to get her head just ripped off with an AK-47. And they're wasting no time. It seems like she's just going to be committing to this A bomb site.
Long engagement, bit of chip damage across to Thea. Nothing in return onto Violent Roses, but now Senna goes in for the peak. There's one spray, but no second forthcoming. Incendiary's tossed in, and in amongst that, Rain just pushed straight past Bank, nullifying Kyler in the process. Incendiary's been tossed towards the back of the site as well, forcing away the CTs. That should open up a bit of a chance, a bit of a reprieve in order to get the bomb plant, but then Rune just shows her hand right outside of Bank, ripping Milks off. Now, Violent Roses, although it's a post plant, they do have the player advantage. They've got kits, they have a smoke as well. Thea's still around that 50 HP mark. A smoke in the hands of the Ts. Now the CTs start to press down, getting aggressive, taking separate engagements, but Emily comes out with the first. Andrea and Rune goes straight back in for kills. They have the kit for the defuse, and Violent Roses will get their first round on Overpass.
A bit of an overextension there from Milk. I feel like she should have just stuck with the rest of her teammates. Maybe, you know, just covered the bomb getting planted while she just covered towards the connected doors. Instead, she went for this fight. A shadow was a dead giveaway, and Rune making sure she lands her shots. Great work from Rune there. That's going to be the first round on board for the side of Violent Roses. However, for Dig, they have enough money to eke out a very, very decent buy. Milk just for the Tech 9, though. Emily could potentially just dropped her a Galil, but Milk probably was like, it's okay. I'm just going to use the Tech 9 to pay for my mistake from the previous round, perhaps. And jokes aside, we've seen what these Tech 9s can do anyway. It's going to be the party take. Kyla, she's got backup nearby. Senna with the M4 waiting towards long. They're playing back-to-back. But Milk with the Tech 9, well, she gets nothing done. She gets taken out, but that's information conveyed.
Yeah, well played, especially important considering they had Senna out in the tree. So if Kyla goes down without much of a fight, that puts Senna in a very awkward position. Now affords them the luxury of both bypassing long, going back in towards the A side, where Emily with a solid first pick gets instantly countered. Any A aggression now has been nullified, and Dignitas have to think twice about pushing over on that area of the map. They now congregate back over on the B. They'll take a while, though, for the bomb to transfer across, and that gives Violent Roses a chance to maybe transition the third player over onto the B side, especially as smoke's now starting to come down. Third player is forthcoming. 35 seconds left on the clock. And Dignitas getting up close. Big frag from Thea. She's looking for more. Doesn't quite get it. And in amongst all of that, Violent Roses go in for 2 in quick succession. Rain is trying to keep a hold onto this round. Can go in for the plant. There's no one to deny her. No incendiaries to force her out of position. Comes off the bomb and still puts the spray down range. Takes the head of Senna off as a result and knows exactly where Rune is. Tossing the flash up and over will not affect Rain, who's going in for more. And Rune's been put down to 27 HP. Still has to press forward. Still has to battle against the time. And Rain will hold on for dear life.
Magnificent clutch coming out from Rain. She played that to perfection, Vince. She gets the first player, realizes the smoke is still bloomed over towards heavens, gets the bomb down, and reads the second player to just absolute brilliant play all around. The second kill was so well played. Rune as well. She was just left guessing where Rain would be. She just played the bomb plan, the positioning, just absolute perfection coming out from her. And with that, despite Violent Roses winning a round, they're back to echoing days once more. And this time around, they don't even have much utility to work with. It's just going to be the pistols, the Eagles, 5.7 P to 50. A couple of plays with Kevlar, that's about it. Gotta say though, I think I've lost count of how many clutches we've witnessed so far. It's been a pretty fun game.
It really has. There's been so many 2v2, 3v3s, scrappy, messy rounds at times, but some great aim as you're seeing showcased by Andrea again.
Uh-oh.
They've got the wraparound as well. Hold the phone for a second, Blair. This round may not be over just yet. Hashi made the sound cue. They haven't heard that. Ash goes down without much of a fight. The 5-7 opens up. It's doing so much damage, but Rain still stands. Next player is up. More damage inflicted. Rune at the back of the site can pinch her in for a couple, but only gets the one going her way. And Kyla pushes through the smoke, but Emilite was so passive and so disciplined. Andrea, who kicked things off with a beautiful 1D, now has to come full circle with a 4K. She's hoping that one of those T's maybe ran into her desperation shots as the flashes did connect. The chances of her clutching this one are so very low. Even with some of the weakened players that she's up against, she had to come out in the open, and Dignitas makes sure that that fast flank does not yield around for the Violent Roses.
It's just unfortunate that for the flank coming on in, that Dignitas just held W and ran on in towards B. If they were waiting, if they hadn't gone for kind of that contact play they went for, if they were just setting up the smokes, it could have been 2 easy kills coming in there, and that could have been a round just falling apart for the T side. But sometimes do be like that. Buy going to be coming in once more for Violent Roses. M4s, a lot of utility this time around as well. No AWP yet. They did have money to eke it up. Maybe they would have been forced to go for, I believe Senna would have been forced to go for a glass cannon if she'd gone for it, instead opting to go for the utility, which on a map like Overpass is imperative to have. So initial duel. The problem for Violent Roses on the CD side for me, Vince, is the fact that this bathrooms control has been so hard for them. Ash wins a duel. Will she get traded though?
She will hold on. Kyla showing up on bathrooms, but it's only the 1 kill. And then Ash finally does go down, and the player that we were saying we need to see step up a little bit more, Sholiana. Well, she's 7-4 with over 100 ADR. She has definitely answered the call. Senna, so many flashbangs, she can't see a single thing. There's another one. Fully blinded, but Andrea comes to help her out, and then Senna can put down the damage. How did she survive? It felt like she was flashed for a good 30 or so seconds.
But yeah, like she probably needs to get her eyes checked after that. She was completely, absolutely blinded, but Andrea coming out like a hero, saving her teammate there, and then of course getting the second kill as well. Like you pointed out, Sholiana doing a great job getting the trade towards Connector, but unfortunately Andrea stepping up that round. 5-2 now. Dig just the pistols. And aggression from Violent Roses here. They are playing pretty up front towards Fountains. And Senna realizing she doesn't want to stick around. Oh, maybe she does. They are wary that a player's teeth might be coming on out from Connector as well. Kyler makes contact with the too many players. They need to be careful here. They can get taken down, and indeed they will. They find a couple before they find themselves in the graves, though. But rifles retrieved, Vince. And Milk, she's got Kevlar. Thea on 8 HP with Kevlar as well. Sholiana M4 in hand. A round which should have been so very easy for Violent Roses has suddenly become a little dangerous.
Yeah, there's definitely some pitfalls and obstacles that they have to navigate and bypass. You have 50 seconds in which to try and pull that off. Rune, hearing footsteps, actually pulls the grenade out. That put a lot more pressure on Andrea, but she has been so cool, calm, and collected. With 2 more kills, Rune will seal it up. It was scary, Blair, but ultimately Violent Roses, after losing the first 2 players, they played it very smart.
They did. I guess they maybe had a misread on the economy, perhaps, or else I believe they would have played a little bit more of a safer angle, taking some of their longer range deals. But yeah, crisis averted. 5-3 for Dig. It was, of course, just a pistol, so they're gonna be, they're gonna be maybe a little disappointed they didn't get the bomb down at least, but it's fine. They have the guns. 3 Galils, though, and a couple of AK-47s, prioritizing the utility. It's once more, they're gonna come barreling up Playground. taking that long control. And this time around for Violent Roses, they're playing very passive towards A, Vince. They usually keep at least a couple of players towards long, maybe towards bathroom, just trying to suss out where the T's might be early on. A minute and 20 seconds, and they have zero control of bathrooms all long, which, in my eyes, is a massive problem.
I agree. We haven't really seen them take much connector control either. It's one of those areas of the map that we were discussing before we got started here. One of those pincer sort of fulcrum points of the map. But this passive, disciplined style could still yield a lot of results. Flashes, nades being exchanged. Senna has bypassed long. Oh, they nearly lined up. It was nearly a 2-for-1 spray down. Kylan now next up, but goes down. Only takes half of Thea's health with her. That may not be good enough. Ash is taking this opportunity to wrap around through connector. Is it too little, too late? It is a post plant. Andrea, second best, second to the punch. Around from long, and that leaves Rune with 10 HP by her side in a post plant. And she may know where one of these players are down on long, but it's all about that second player. And enough time has elapsed now that long could have rotated, and indeed she has. Rune just catching a glimpse momentarily of bathroom. You can still see that she's certain there's a player on long side. That's not the case any longer. Will she be cognizant of getting double peaked? It didn't matter. Because even though she took Rain, Thea instantly retorted, and Dignitas continued to stride ahead.
Fantastic play there from Thea and Rain. Rain especially getting the kill, like you mentioned, Vince. She got the 2 kills and immediately wasting no time, knowing that she's been spotted out, rotating all the way around alongside Short, where they peak the final player. Even though she was down to 10 HP, they ensured that there's no way she's gonna get those isolated duels. Great work from Dig. 6-3 now. They have the MP7 out once more in the hands of Milk. They know that the money is pretty poor for Violent Roses, and they are once more down just to the pistols.
Yeah, for me, these are the kind of rounds, Blair, where I'd like to see Violent Roses try and take connector. You know, you got pistols, you got nothing to lose. Like, I completely respect they've taken short control. That's great. But connectors consistently just eluded them. And Dignitas, you see them push up into these positions like very comfortably every round. It never really feels like they're being taken out of their comfort zone, as they were on Dust 2. I do get a little bit worried here for Violent Roses. There's the MP7 again. I know you're a big fan of that, Blair. Spray is good, but Senna is up to the task.
It is indeed, and they've gone for a cheeky boost towards Cons, unfortunately. All the 4 remaining members of Dig are going to be heading in straight from through Monster, so unless something truly crazy happens here, unless Dig decide or opt to over-aggress a little bit too much, I don't really see Violent Roses able to bring this one back. Great nade as well. Senna whittled down to 60 from the frag grenade. And Violent Roses just going to be waiting for the exits here. Even though they'll have enough money to go for the buy later on, you might as well just try and take away some AKs. AKs always will be superior. A little bit of a messy spray there from Sholiana. But Crisis will be averted once more. Thea, Emily, and Rain chiming in for a kill apiece. 7-3. They lose a couple, but one was an MP7, and the other was, I believe, a Galil. So, yeah, Dig looking pretty good right now, Vince. And might I say, looking like they're kind of running away with this half.
Yeah, it's definitely getting to that point, isn't it, where it's building up steam. But I will draw your attention back to Dust 2, where a very similar start fell upon us. And Violent Roses, with that tenacity, that grit, that fight back, were able to take the map and make it theirs. They finished 8-7. Both of these maps have actually finished 8-7 come the first half. We'll see if that ends up being the case. It would have to be quite the turnaround, though. This has been a very different sort of ball game where most of the rounds have been fairly convincing, fairly one-sided. Senna doesn't quite get the timing, but she can call to her teammates that they've already bypassed through Fountain. That is valuable intel. Even though they're not taking connector control, they're effectively getting second-hand intel instead. But Sholiana straight through with the opening pick. Andrea comes out with 2 kills. That's the bomb that drops down alongside her. She needs to stay alive. If she can get a 3rd kill, that's going to be huge. But Emily with this wraparound swing, getting 2 in return. And are those 2 players that played aggro through long are the last 2 that they have standing.
Carla sneaking from behind. They might not be expecting this, Vince. Senna, op in hand. Smoke will force her away, and it's all about the timing, and Kyla's going to find Emily. Rain, 1v2. Can she do it again? Senna with the AWP. Her position has been given away. She's going to walk it out wide, and she wins the duel. Rain, not this time around, and that's such an important round for Violent Roses to clinch out. Oh, it just came down to the wire there. And the thing is, Vince, I gotta say it again. I mean, we want to celebrate the win for Violent Roses, but at the same time, to lose 4 members, meaning Dignitas, they could just break their economy once more.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the concern. That's a hell of a shot, though, from Senna, by the way. That's not an angle that you typically will be peeking when you come around the corner. So that's just raw, ruthless reaction speed. Very well done. And the importance of that could echo and reverberate throughout this best of 3. That's the kind of round, if they lose, they're likely into some kind of an eco or partial bye. And Dignitas with an 8-3 lead. So that is massive, monumental. But Senna, this is a shot she probably should be landing. It's so often the case with AWP. It giveth and it taketh away. It gets stuck on the bench, but it won't cost her a life. But at least she gets a bit of early information that she can relay to the rest of the troops. But she goes wide swinging, and Milk dispatches her.
That's a mistake. That's a massive mistake from Senna. She hasn't really been someone to make this sort of misplace. In all honesty, she's been spectacular so far. Andrea does spots out Milk. That's a huge kill to find. And then the execute's going to be coming on in, and with that, with the smokes and the molotovs and the flashes being deployed, the rotation should be coming in as well. Flashbang is good at Showdown. Was that a jumping shot? I don't even know. And Kyla, she can prevent the bomb from getting planted. No, she doesn't. The bomb will go down. But now, Vince, it's a 3v3.
It's unfortunate she was a millisecond late. Gets shot at and finished off by Showdown. That's an awkward trade that Ash has got to get. And that puts even more pressure. We've been here before where Rune's in a 1v2. This time, though, she knows where both the players are, but the wide swing with the AWP this time goes in Dignitas' favor. And they will take the 8-4 lead, and they shatter the economy of Violent Roses.
Oh, that's just heartbreak. That is just heartbreak. The whiffed spray. I mean, great reaction from Thea to instantly headshot her with the Galil, but that kill, if she'd got that kill, it was so winnable. It was so very winnable. It would have been a 1v2 favoring the CTs. Dignitas, they give it and they take it away. Violent Roses, the worst case scenario, Vince. I was a doomsayer there. It comes true. They win a round, they lose the following, down to pistols again. And Dignitas are very, very aware of it. Look at them just waiting for this push.
Yeah, Dignitas is so calculated. They know exactly what Violent Roses are doing before they even have an idea. Before the inclination pops into their head, Dignitas are like, right, we're going to set up passive. We're going to wait for them to push into our crosshairs. Nice reaction shot from Senna. Impressive work with the P250, but it does feel like a drop in the bucket here because it's another post plant falling into position. And when you have a Galil and no nades and no Kevlar and no kit, it feels like you have no hope. Now's the smoke in her eyes to make matters that little bit worse. So yeah, this is going to be going the way of Dignitas. I don't really have much hope that Senna can pull this off as good as she is. Upshot just rattles by her head. Very fortunate to get away with her life. And now she can at least set up for some exit frags. I mean, it's not as if the economy on Dignitas is sublime either. 3 players below $1,000. Like, she could still have a bit of an impact here and towards the latter stages of this half. But they have done a good job of at least bypassing her and not allowing her to take that into account.
Indeed they have. So the 3 guns will be taken on in, and considering we are entering round number 14, Vince, I don't think money is going to be a big worry for Emily and her fellow players. It's looking rough. 9-4 T side overpass. Usually when you look at that, you're like, yeah, this is pretty grim. Because you did mention earlier, Vince, like a 9-6, 10-5 scoreline for the CT side is where it usually lies, kind of an average in high-level Counter-Strike. And, well, you're close to the scoreline, it's just the sides are flipped.
It's just reversed, isn't it? Yeah, that's kind of terrifying. It's not that you can't get a lot of success on your T side. It's just for the most part, the CTs, because of that aggression that we discussed earlier, it always puts the Ts in this awkward position where you're actually fighting for key choke points. You're using a lot of utility before you even get close to executing on the sites. And that's why Violent Roses just bypassing this and playing more passive has hurt them so much. They turn their back, but Kyla's not really affected by that flashbang. She gets 2 and sets up a 3rd. Excellent work by Kyla. And in doing so, Violent Roses have a great opportunity. It's a glorious chance to pick up a 5th.
These are the ones you need to convert, and a whiffed shot from Emily. It's Senna just weaving back and forth, left and right rather. Wins the duel, and it's all in Thea. 1v4, snaps onto Rune, but Rune's more than ready, finds a kill, and it's such an important round for Violent Roses to win. They need every round they can get. And for Dig, I said earlier, they have enough money. This was brilliant. This is actually a bit of a mistake as well. I feel like, I mean, they were waiting for the flashbang, I assume, but great trade as well. Both the players playing together towards bathrooms and heading into the final round of the first half here. Dig. They have the money, but it's not great. Couple of Mac 10s, the sole AK-47s in the hands of the Brazilian, a Galil, a Tech 9, and they're going to be running in straight towards B vent.
Straight on to Ash, who's already been burned alive and finished off by the Mac-10. Had an incendiary out for what felt like forever. Needed to pull that pin way earlier. Andrea now behind flashbangs, now catching one. Straight on the face, fully blinded alongside Kyla. They can't really post up any kind of resistance while those flashes continue to rip through their eyesight. But Kyla now subsiding, wiping away the snowstorm, puts the bullets down range, and is starting to get some success. 2v2, make that a 2v1, and Kyla going full circle, huge clutch to win it out. Big last 2 rounds, and Violent Roses, they will concede, they will lag behind, but it's 9-6. This is winnable. Find out if they can after the break.
In my ear, get on the party train. You've been so good this year, and every girl and boy must have some fun. Next stop is Christmas, oh yeah, the holidays begun. Feeling full of Christmas song, snow upon the railroad track. Get up and make some noise, 'cause there's no turning back. It's the beginning of a whole new year. Next stop is Christmas, oh yeah, the holidays are here. Hey, yeah. Oh, the Christmas train is free. There's room inside for mistletoe. Santa whispered in my ear, get on the party train. You've been so good this year, and when the whistle blows, I know you're near. Next stop is Christmas, oh yeah, the holidays are here. Next stop is Christmas, oh yeah, the holidays are here. Next stop is Christmas, oh yeah.
Not quite the 8-7 that the previous 2 maps ended up, but Dignitas lead a little bit more superiorly. And they are 9-6 in the lead here, Blair. And honestly, when I look at the performance from Violent Roses, they don't necessarily seem like a team to me that is that much off the mark of Dignitas. I came into this expecting it to be a bit of a bloodbath, and I'm very happy. I'm very content that that's not been the case. It's been way closer.
Absolutely. And I mean, the entire point of the Showdown tournaments and all these tournaments are to find similar women teams or players who we could like see. And usually we just see CLG Red, or we see Dignitas, or we see, you know, Juliana's team, which is Exit right now, usually just stomping everyone. To finally see another team, another bunch of players taking the fight to these favorites, it really makes me happy deep down inside. But hold on, Rain coming in from behind, she's shutting everything down, finds Senna. Emily's going to join the fray. Thea with a lovely tap, and they are just surrounded by CTs. But Andrea, she replies back with a quick double, but it's not to be, Vince. There was a moment there, a millisecond, where I believed in another magical Andrea moment.
It was just lining up, wasn't it? And then Thea came in with the USP, and the rest was history. She has played very well over the duration of these last two maps. It was a little bit quiet on Dust 2, but past that point has been incredibly impactful. Meanwhile, Violent Roses, I feel like they need to have a bit of impact. They need somebody to really step up and get this back under wraps early on in the second half, because if not, having seen that nuke performance on T's side, albeit a very different map and a different kind of way that it comes down, I don't know if I necessarily believe that tactically or strats-wise, they're going to be able to take a stranglehold over Overpass and make Dignitas sweat this out too much.
True, have to agree with you on that. Like, if you look at the T side of Nuke, like you said, it was pretty much non-existent. Dust 2 obviously being their map pick, being something which they're more comfortable with, and also a map where we've said this in the past, like for a newer team, for a buggy team, it's probably one of the better maps to work with, right, alongside maybe a Mirage. So let's see. We've been kind of naysaying initially in the first half of Dust 2, and they've proven us wrong. Maybe they're going to prove us wrong here again. Sholiana, MP9 in place. They're playing very upfront. I'm not necessarily a very big fan of this, but since they have 3 players there, it's going to be fine. Nate's going to be sailing on in Emily. That's kind of almost a giveaway as to her position, but it's still going to hold the line, and they're going to be taking the fight here.
So the MP9 should shine. They line up for Sholiana, and 2 kills go her way. Only Kyla remains.
Ooh.
He started the map pretty slowly, but ended it with a bang. Her last 2 rounds were phenomenal, honestly. But Dignitas, they don't really care about the past. They only care on the present and the future, and that will see them take the 11-6, and Violent Roses be back again onto just a few pistols.
Indeed. Tech 9, P250s. They do deal quite a bit of damage with these pistols, but I feel like they don't really convert a lot of them. It's mostly been Dignitas who've been able to win some rounds, like with this pistol. Flashbang is perfection, and Milk is just shredding them to pieces. Thea joining the fray with Nate as well, and might actually get the 4K here, as Kyler will just try and hop away straight into a wall of bullets from Sholiana. A flawless round coming out from Dig. And it's going to be the buy coming in from the side of Violent Roses. 12-6 the scoreline.
Yeah, and this is where I need to see what Violent Roses have in store. This is where they've obviously been bypassed, losing their second pistol. They've not been able to grab on hold of subsequent 2 rounds. How are you when you have rifles? How aggressive do you get? How many aspects of the map are you looking to systematically shut down? We're already seeing Dignitas. The haven of connector control has been established. They're taking it right now, and Senna, caught in between 2 targets, ends up shooting down the middle and gets punished. Sholiana now joining the rest of the team on short. And again, Blair, I don't want to beat on this dead horse and be a broken record, but we never saw Violent Roses go for a play like that. In the duration of the first half, Dignitas have already gone for it, and they've already got success.
Absolutely, and that's something which I really wanted to see from the side of Violent Roses, especially when you're the underdogs. You are going to be pressured by this T side, and the best thing you can do, you have the aimers, you have the players in a team, make them feel uncomfortable, and that's something they did not do. Give Dignitas too much room to work with. And it did require like a couple of heroic performances from the likes of, like we mentioned earlier, I do believe it was Kyla, which had to go their way. In the meantime, Rain and Sholiana, contact made. It's a 2v2, and even though they just have the MP9s, Vince, look at the health. Andrea hemorrhaging, 11 points of health. Kyler in 53. And Milk, she's sneaking in from short. The bomb will be planted for Bank, but Thea, they're going to plan to go for the play here. And that's a smart play. Andrea catching Thea off guard with the off angle. What are they going to do now?
Love that call. That's a fantastic call for the exact reasons you highlighted. They're both low, so they had to try and catch one of these two in transition. They've done just that. Milk's made a lot of noise. Andrea surviving. This is crucial for her teammate, especially as Kyler was planting the bomb. That grenade could do a lot of damage to Kyler if she's not careful, knocks her down to 18. And so Milk knows where one of the players are at least still on the site and has a good idea as to where Andrea currently resides. She may have assumed that Andrea dropped down. That could be the determining factor. Spins up, lands the first, and now it's down to Kyler. The HP actually favoring Milk right now, but she doesn't know as to Kyler's position. She sticks on the site, and Kyler shows her hand from pillar. You saw from that incendiary, she assumed that she was on short playing some kind of long con. Wasn't the case.
That was a huge round to win, and yeah, they played that one to perfection. So well done, holding the off angle. It was a player who was so low as well. And Thea not expecting the aggression coming out from the T's. I honestly thought they're just going to get the bomb down and play the post plan, in which case they would be the players whose positions would be known, while the CTs could go in for the flank. Instead, they go for the brave play, but Emily, this is great. Fantastic start. Senna's going to be taken down, and look at the damage which has been dealt to Kyler and Rune by the utility from Milk and Thea. Oh, flash. Gonna pop. Milk walks on in. There's a player right behind her. They don't know, Vince. It's Kyler. Like a snake in the grass. She can find two. 1, 2. Looking for more. The third kill is gonna go her way. What a play from Kyler. 3 HP remaining. 3 kills. And that's a bomb side taken over by her.
It is, but the damage and the job's not done just yet. She's done so much by herself, but now she needs the supporting cast to pull off the miracle play. Keep Violent Rose in this round, in this map. Sholiana coming up through on the pool side, taking a lot of damage from the Molotov and gets finished off by Ash. And Emily, I'm pretty sure she already took a shot from Heaven, so they know exactly where she is. She's dropped down. Even if she gets this first pick, it's asking so much to convert with 2 kills at this position. They both peek her, and Andrea comes out swinging. But Kyler, take a bow. That was absolutely fantastic.
Can we please, yes, here we go, the replay. She knows what's happening, but the patience waits for both of them to run out from the smoke, and a third kill is a cherry on top of that cake. 3K. And of course, in the end, the final 2v2 also played to perfection by her teammates. Violent Roses, they're not out yet here, Vince. They're still fighting, they're still punching. And Dignitas now having to deal with just the pistols. But look at what they're doing over here, right? This is something I wish Violent Roses did. They're playing aggressive. They're playing up front. They're not playing default. You know you have the weapons disadvantage to try and at least catch your opponents by surprise. Go for a stack. Go aggressive. Double up. Push somewhere. Catch them with their pants down. And that's something the Dignitas are doing over here. Unfortunately, though, Violent Roses have gone for an excursion towards a B bomb site, and they're going to find it empty.
Yeah, the idea of it's great, but unfortunately it is a gamble stack at the end of the day, and it comes down to what the T's decide to go for. Violent Roses successfully and correctly decide to hit the B site. Flash is now being tossed out into Connector, and Ash, fantastic hold. Was never really in doubt. May get overwhelmed though. Death from above with these P250s, jumps back in, and Ash finally goes down. It's not going to be the ace, but it will be the round. And that's all that she really cares about come the end of the day. Dignitas will be conceding, and although they can afford to go in for another purchase, saving this AK would be a nice little bonus on top of it. Not just the one-tap power, but also additionally, Rain could then maybe drop a weapon across to Thea. Get a little bit of a better buy in effect. Bomb about to detonate. Do they check this angle? They will. Rain goes in for the spray, comes out second best. No saved gun will be afforded.
In all honesty, I wasn't really a big fan of Violent Roses going in for that hunt, to be very honest, Vince. Their money was very grim, but fortunately, it is Andrea, and she's going to win those deals. 12-9, buy going to be coming out once more for Dig. They do have a couple of 3 FAMASs, in fact, opting to prioritize the nades and the smokes and the Molotovs and whatnot instead of the rifles. But they do have Emily with the AWP. This B bomb site. The target of Violent Rose's affection, so to speak. As Andrea is going to open. Oh, what a shot! That's nuts. Decapitates Thea, who was actually pushing on out. Aggression from there, and finds the second kill will be found out by Violent Roses as well. The aggression from the side of Dignitas is not really working out, and they're getting punished from it. At least the flashbang saves Milk, but for how long? Well, longer for a while more, Vince. I don't know how she's pulled that off.
The great escape. Bit of a wry smile on Milk's face, perhaps, as she knows that she probably should be dead, but still stands. How much longer, however, because Violent Roses have correctly and intelligently decided to pull the plug on B. It was feeling a little bit too hot for comfort. They've backed away, or at least they faked the idea of backing away. They're keeping their options available. Milk is anticipating that this flank could come into effect, and she holds such a good position right now. If she gets the player come down into connector and rips off the head of Ash, that could give them a good idea as to where this round ends up. About to run straight into Ash. Now she knows there's a very good chance this is going to be a B play. This can afford Rain the chance to now push down towards the B side of the map, as no second player has shown themselves in connector. They won't be able to straight up stop the bomb from getting planted, but they should be able to get into decent post-plant positions that can maybe catch Violent Roses off as they look to outmaneuver their opposition. And so Milk could have the drop on the AWP, but actually preemptively, prematurely sprays in, but gets allowed the second chance to come good as Senna misses her AWP shot. But Milk misses too, and to make matters worse for Milk, her teammate, a partner in crime, has gone down elsewhere, and that puts this round pretty much to bed. Senna seals the deal, 12-10.
There was a tiny window, Vince, where she needed to land a spray, but Senna, like you pointed out, 7 HP, but doesn't matter, especially when you have the one-shot cannon. I can respect Dignitas going for that info play there, but I feel it was like the players are too isolated. There were no trades taking place. They lost 2 players very early on, and I'm starting to get a sense of deja vu here. It's almost like Dust 2 all over again. Violent Roses, it was a 9-6 scoreline, Vince. It was 12-6, I believe, for Dig. I do believe they won both the pistols.
Yep,
I mean, they won the
right.
pistol in the second half, right? And look at this. They've strung 4 in a row. They've broken the money, and you just need one more round after this to tie things up.
Yeah, at one point it was 9-4 as well, and you're thinking, oh, well, this should be it for Dignitas, but I remember saying Violent Roses showed just how tenacious they are, that they have that true grit when it really counts, that they can hang in there with the best of them. They've got the opening pick. Dignitas didn't fully invest into the round. They do have a scout and some pistols in play, but already losing Rain is a big, heavy body blow, as she has been there, I would say, most consistent player of the duration of this best of 3. Good flick onto Kyla, but no second shot is forthcoming, although Kyla somehow loses that trade. Not entirely sure how that happened. Not that it necessarily matters, as a 2-for-1 shot comes into play. Sholiana is going to soften up a few targets, and Emily is still alive in this round, but it's just going to be 4 HP that separates Andrea and a casualty. Dignitas concede again, and now that lead has been drawn down to just a measly 1.
If that tag had landed on either Senna or Ash, they would have been dead, Vince. It could have been potentially a 1v1, but despite the attempted heroics from Emily, it's not really gonna pan out. Of course, they do have the buy now. Zoom banger in the hands of Emily. With the utility tossed into its fountain, as it is gonna be Violent Roses just pushing, wresting control of B short. And Dignitas are pretty happy giving to them. They have no control towards cons. They have no control towards A short as well. They have 2 players towards long. The problem is, Vince, if this B hit comes on in, that rotation could take forever. In fact, I believe Emily and Sholiana might even just have to go for the save if the B bomb set gets run over.
timer. Time is still dwindling away, and Violent Roses haven't fully committed just yet. They're walking into crossfires. They're walking into so much damage. 20 seconds to play with. The T's have got to get a move on. They're starting to get across to the site, looking for that full plant. It will be a success. That is a huge tick in the box, but now they have to try and repel this push. They all clumped up on the site, which allowed some of these fast rotational plays in from Rain, but she comes head-to-head with Senna, and she is sent cartwheeled out the round. The advantage now firmly falling in Violent Roses. Senna puts another bullet down range, connects another frag onto Sholiana. And although Emily's on the side, she can maybe draw out one of these fights. They both know that she's no longer on the bomb. They don't have to fully commit to this. The timer is ticking away. All she has to do is stay alive, Andrea. But she decides to finish it off with a bit of style. It's a frag, and it's 12-12.
There's a world there, Vince, where she could have just got that final kill and stuck the bomb, but 12-12. The comeback is indeed, truly very real indeed, and we finally have attack timeout getting called by Dig for the very first time, mind you, in this map. They're starting to feel the heat. They're starting to feel this, not just the lead they had in the rounds, but a mental edge they had over Violent Roses slowly slipping away. And again, for those of you probably just tuning in, wondering, okay, what's going on over here? Dignitas are by far the favorites in this particular matchup. Everyone's expecting them to be facing off against the winner of the next game, which is also favoring CLG Red. And, to kind of be crowned the queens of North American Counter-Strike. But the Violent Roses are giving it everything. And they play the cards right, Vince. They don't make too many mistakes. We could see probably the upset of DreamHack Showdown taking place here.
We're getting so very close to that being a reality as well, Blair. And don't Dignitas know it. Tactical timeout gets put into position. And now Violent Roses, passive, waiting, anticipating these plays could come in. And they had a lot of success early on to Dignitas. To connect to control, playing into playground, flick across. Emily just caught a quick glimpse of a head bobbing and weaving its way back towards the T side of Connector, which is where Violent Roses have two of their players. The other three are now making moves outside of B. And Dignitas, they've drawn away a little bit of time, but they'll still feel very uncomfortable in this current situation.
Taking it so very slow, methodical. I love this. The flashbang is good. Thea caught alone, forsaken by teammates, but the push comes in, and Milk with a quick 2K. AK-47 picked up as well. Rune at least replies back by finding Sholiana, but Milk, she's got Kevlar as well, Vince. She's got AK in hand. She could be looking for more. Unfortunately, doesn't get the kill, but she's dealt the damage.
So much damage has been inflicted across to the oncoming T's. Ash and Rune limping, lumbering their way to the site. 28 seconds to go. Bomb still under control, though. Senna still healthy. And she has been a powerhouse over these last 4 or 5 rounds with the AWP. Rune gets the drop onto Rain. That should be the round going with it. Emily has to pull off a truly masterful play with the scout. There's the first. Can maybe deny the bomb plant. Gets up on top of the box. There's the bomb down. But Senna, always eager-eyed with the AWP, puts it down range, and Violent Roses take the lead. And correct me if I'm wrong here, Blair. I think this is the first time they've led on Overpass.
It is. It is. You are indeed correct. What a comeback. The underdogs showing grit, tenacity, everything. I'm running out of words here. My vocab's not that good, but I can tell you that Molotov was not good either. But Dignitas now facing the prospects of being knocked down to the lower bracket to a team. I won't lie, I hadn't heard of these guys till today. Till I at least started doing a little bit of my prep work on this team, and even my prep work was non-existent because I didn't find much to work with. And it's not just the Andrea carry anymore. It's everyone stepping up, playing fantastic Counter-Strike. T-side, Overpass never too easy, but hold on to that thought. It's going to be trades back and forth. Sholiana gets wallbanged to oblivion by Rune, and once more the player advantage for the side of Violent Roses.
Looking to steamroll through this round. Thea, though, the youngster, proving that she can hang with the best in the business. 50 seconds to go. Violent Roses looking to try and maneuver their way through short, making sure they drop down silently. Don't want to give Thea any sound cues. She will flash out for a peek over on Monster. It's all clear. But she moves back in. The timing's against her. They heard her flash herself in Monster. They knew that she might be peeking through on that wide angle. And Emily instantly gets dispatched by the AWP. Senna is on fire right now.
Senna's on fire. The crowd's on fire. Violent Roses are on fire. Potter probably grinning year to year right now. She was the only one who believed Vince. None of us did. Let's be real. No one did. Heck, I doubt even Violent Roses believed themselves that Potter... Well, you might get your wish here, Christine. You might be seeing an upset for the ages. Once more, Dig down to the pistol. P to 50s, 5-7. A bit of utility at least to work with here. And Violent Roses... taking control of Playground and Fountain. It's the right call. Against pistols, you want to be taking this long-range duels, and Kyler has managed to avoid all the CDs, just walking towards B, just conveying information, Vince, and just telling them there's no one here on the bomb side. There is a stack, though, towards Graffiti. And you can see the rest of her teammates slowly heading on over. Kyla, the smoke's going to be a dead giveaway. Is she going to check Graffiti is the question. Her back's turned, and they're going to spot her, and 3 players just mowing her down. But at least they know where the CDs are. The question is, are Violent Roses going to go for the full commit towards B?
Oh, this is a very courageous call. Because you have no extra intel for the entire map. Like, you've given up all the map control following in Kyla. So for all you know, especially against pistols, could be someone connector, could be someone pushing Playground. I suppose what could have maybe put them into a bit more of a sense of security is knowing there were multiple players boosted up, that there couldn't be like 3 or 4 players pushing elsewhere. But Andrea is keeping them over on this B side, or at least she'll try and take down some players with her. There's one. Trying to force out some of these rotational plays. And a second. Has she done enough, though, to justify over-rotating towards the B site? Now the grenades are coming down elsewhere. Maybe not, but the Deagles and 5-7s are not hitting the mark. And now Milk needs to clutch this 1v3. Otherwise, Violent Roses will have multiple match points. She is stuck in a corner. Nobody to help her out of this. No flashes to trying to send onto the site. And Violent Roses have put her down. And in doing so, they've got 3 chances to cause the upset.
3 chances to cause the upset. And honestly, if that lost it round, honestly, Vince, it would have been all down to Kyla, right? You clear out the B bomb site. You know there's no one there. Now, if you want to go adventuring further towards CD spawn or Graffiti, you at least slow it down a tad bit, wait for your teammates to arrive at the bomb site, and then you press ahead. The fact is, she went on ahead. She thought for a fact that there was no one on the B bomb site. And by the time she pushed on in, her teammates were still not on that bomb site. They still hadn't crossed Monster, which is why the moment she got taken down, Violent Roses had to go for the call to fall back. But fortunately, they were able to recover from that. And now, like you said, 3 opportunities to pull off probably one of the biggest upsets I've had the opportunity to witness this year. This could be monumental. And for Dignitas, like, imagine. Potter said this on the desk. I think Miss Harvey said it as well. They're a team who are paid to play Counter-Strike. Violent Roses, I don't think they really have an org behind them. It's a hell of a fairy tale.
It really is, especially considering how poorly Nuke went in the end. But it's not done just yet. Dignitas, they could mount together a comeback. They could still pull this out the fire, and Rain is trying to do just that, but the spray's not quite there. Only the 1 kill. That may not be good enough to hold on to the site, but now Thea next up to call as Sholiana pushes through the Molotov of Connector, and Rain's down. The back attack that will at least save 1 round, but there are 2 more to go, and Violent Roses have enough economy with Rune on tons of cash to drop some weapons. They go again.
Ooh, this is poised on a knife's edge, Vince. I'm just scared for both the teams. If the Dig are able to win this round by eliminating all of Violent Roses players here, the money's not going to be that great for the T side. They might have to go for a mix of some rifles, maybe a Galil coming into play, maybe a couple of pistols. And that's a perfect opportunity for Dignitas to somehow force this game into OT. Emily, op trained. They're going to go for the dry peek. How does that not land? It goes in between the two players. There's still a player towards bathrooms, though. The flash is going to be popping up high. Perfect flash from Emily, but all the three players are blinded, Vince. But they have the cover of the tree and the rocks, and Andrea is going to find the opposite. Liana so very low. This is starting to look grim for Violent Roses and Ash. She can get the flank, but they've got control of the B bomb side. This is chaotic.
What a nightmare for Dignitas. There's two players stuck on Banana, and they don't know where they're being aggressed from, let alone where the bomb is headed towards. They don't care about that right now. They just care about raw survival. And Showdown's going to try and make some moves. Thea's now spotted centered downstairs, but may very well have just sold them fake news there that there's going to be an A hit. Because B site's about to get hit on now. It's about to get planted on. Thea's already up close, could get the drop on the first player of Graffiti. But Kyla has the angle. The timing does not work in Thea's favor at all, but Kyla can't quite transition across for the second. A player to the left-hand side. We'll see Rain trying to take point on smoking away short. One of the two of them is Sholiana, and she's incredibly low. She only half checks the angle. That cost her and Rain their lives. The upset's happened. Violent Roses have taken this.
I just don't believe it. They've actually done it. Oh my lord. They're not even showing any emotions, Vince. I'll be jumping out of my chair. I'll be breaking stuff. And look at them just calmly talking it through. They're like, yeah, we showed them. Oh my lord. I wish I could listen to Miss Harvey, Pansy, Potter, and Shiva right now in the green room. They must be just yelling. And Potter must have the biggest shit-eating grin on her face at the moment.
Oh, she must be loving it right now. She had full faith, and we saw why. We said at the very start of this best of three, Blair, we didn't know much about them, but we wanted to learn. And they have taught us so much about their own ability levels. I've thoroughly enjoyed and seen it as a privilege to cast this game. This has been so much fun. I just can't quite believe it. Unreal.
Yeah, for sure. I came into this game, I'm like, all right, we're going to be casting a game. It's going to be Dig. I know them. They're fun to watch. They're fun to cast. It's going to be probably a quick 2-0. It wasn't a 2-0. It was a 2-1. And in fact, it went the way of Violent Roses. I did not see this coming. And you know what? What a way to start things off. Fantastic game all around.
Absolutely fantastic. But that's us done for this evening. Blair, we're going to pass over to the desk, and we're going to see a very happy Potter, I'm sure, telling everybody that she was right after all.
The third map goes to Violent Roses. It's our first upset of the tournament, and I'm loving it. It is so much fun watching these girls play, and to be honest, Dignitas, they struggled, and it looked a little rough on them also mentally, as we saw some of the cams there. But a fantastic performance from Violent Roses, who take the series and continue on in the upper brackets. I'm here with Potter, here with Ms. Harvey. And girls, normally we save the player of the day till the end of the day, you know, the end of the show. Makes sense, closing everything up. This time around, we move it up because player of the day is, I think it's also the MVP of this series. It's the MVP of the game. It is Andrea.
Andrea, like, someone could say, who would have thought that we'd be here today talking about Andrea being our MVP? But someone did know because Potter voted
Yes.
Violent Roses to win. But look at these stats, guys. Andrea on top of the world. So many kills, ADR of 100, close to 100. And all day she was showing in the server, even on save rounds with their deagles or with her gun. So many rethinks. Oh, the door is knocking.
The door is ringing indeed.
It's
Andrea,
ringing.
we're talking about you because we have appointed you player of the day. Absolutely fantastic performance here in this best of three. And first of all, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes, we can. So I have a first question that is not Counter-Strike related. But we do see you have a puppy pan or something behind you.
Yes.
For a pet. What is it?
My girlfriend and I got a golden retriever puppy about a week and a half ago.
Congratulations. That is...
Thank you.
I'm sad that we can't see it. They're just just the camera.
I can go get her.
I'd be down. I'm not... Yes,
Puppy. Puppy.
Let's go. Oh, hello, Oh, I love it.
What's her name?
Her name is Paris Rose.
Oh,
Paris actually adorable.
oh, we
This is
don't
the
have to
content
do
everyone
this.
wanted.
Exactly. We don't have to do the interview anymore. We
Yeah.
can just look at her. Like, just hold her. Andrea, you are our MVP. Is this how you always play with Violet Roses? Like showing up in the server, just clicking heads, proving that you're one of the new, I want to say, CSGO player to be feared in North America?
I mean, yeah, I definitely always try to click heads. That's kind of the goal. But yeah, my role kind of changed out of the tournament. We had a coach basically IGLing for the first couple games, but then his power died. So I had to take over the IGL role in Overpass, and that really turned the tables for us. So in a good way.
Wow, you were IGLing on top of fragging.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Andrea, I gotta ask about the team mentality coming into this series, because you know it's no secret that you are heavily the underdog. Dignitas female have been placing top 3, winning out multiple showdowns, and so what was your mentality like? What were you guys talking about in Mumble or TeamSpeak or Discord coming in? Were you like, yeah, we can actually win this, or was this just kind of like, all right, guys, let's try our best? Or because you guys looked so confident in that server.
Yeah, so we put a lot of effort in and planning into obviously this game and obviously the games ahead of us. Previously in the Supergirl Gamer Pro tournament a couple of weeks ago or months ago, Kyler and I were in the tournament and we beat Dignitas on their best map train. So we were coming in with a lot of confidence and we obviously prepared a lot. So we were ready to take them down.
Can you tell us a little bit more about how this team came together and what the plans are long term for the squad? Because you guys are looking really hot, but to be honest, there wasn't a lot of data about you guys because you're a fresh team.
Yeah, so it came together when we saw DreamHack tweeted about the Winter Showdown. I immediately messaged Kyler, who is Samantha on the team, and we were like, yeah, let's do it. Like we know people, we're gonna make a roster. So we made the roster. We started working really hard a couple weeks ago. Really kicked it into gear about a week ago. We're hoping to go long term and obviously look for opportunities down the road. See what it brings us.
Yeah,
You have to be thinking long term, especially when you're already in a tournament and doing so great, beating one of the top teams in the world on 2 maps, not just an upset of 1 map. This was really close triple maps, but you guys pulled it at the end. I want to see your name over and over because you kept impressing us.
Now,
Thank you.
we have, obviously we have voted for you the MVP player of the day, but is there anybody in your team that you want to give a little bit of extra limelight to that you felt was instrumental to the victory today?
I mean, I can't really point out just one. It was a team effort, really. Everyone was really on their game. Our comms really good. I think everyone really pitched in really great.
It's awesome to see, and I cannot wait to see more of you girls. I think in 2 days or in 3 days. I'm not entirely sure, but we're definitely gonna see more, and hopefully also more of the puppy because that's adorable. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us here today, Andrea, and yeah, good luck.
Yeah, thank you. No problem. Have a good day, guys.
Thank you.
I mean, this is very exciting for me as well because a new squad, you know, I can relate. I'm new to the game. Seeing this squad, I already have my favorite, and the puppy helps.
This is your team to win this tournament right now? That's your favorite team?
I know.
Okay.
I've heard gigantic stories about CLG Red. I know they're the team to beat, winning everything, yada yada. No, not today. Not this week.
I love
Roses.
it.
This
Violent
time.
All the time.
I love it. You know, Andrea, even in their interview, kept her cool. You know, it does, like, we can see the cams, though. So this is an online event, but we can see how they're feeling it. And everyone on that team was so calm the whole time, winning or losing. They kept their composure. And that's something that's been really successful over in the traditional circuit.
Yeah, and especially watching them swinging back, right? Because let's be real, in the first half, it looked like Dignitas were in full control. I thought this was done and dusted.
Yeah.
They were just gonna have a wipeout in the third map. But the fact that a new squad and new up-and-comers, names we haven't seen really competing at this level, they're able to grind back round after round. That takes a lot of gall, and it's really great to see.
Yeah, and on top of that, playing without a coach for a little bit and then being able to bounce back with that switch of not having a coach and basically having to do it yourself. In Andrea's case, the in-game leader, that is hella impressive for sure. We also have probably got a couple of plays of Andrea in our top 5 plays of the day. I'd say, Harvey, take it away.
Yeah, let's start with number 5 here. We have Zaz. This is the clip I mentioned where it looked like she was matching against Arcane Wave. She just came into Inner all by herself and got 3K. Mind you guys, this was a 5 versus 5 at that point. So it was in the opponent's at boss. It was just not a random moment.
And with play number 4, it's just like you wished for, Shiver. It's Andrea, and this is on Dust 2. This was such a neck-and-neck match, and the way that Andrea was not only clutching out rounds, but her entries coming into this series were just so instrumental for the success of this squad.
Number 3 here, we have Rain in that 3K. Not gonna lie, I did not think she was gonna win this, but look at her experience and then positioning here in this round, getting the 3K to show up versus Violent Roses.
And with play number 2, it's the newcomer, Wiki. This is a 4K. This is a pistol round win. And actually, Arcane Wave, they looked fantastic on these pistols. And it's just Wiki. She was entering all day long on this nuke. And I wish Arcane Wave was actually able to get a few more rounds just so we could see a little bit more of Wiki. But here we are, just one taps across the map.
Number 1, it is indeed our MVP, Andrea's No Fears retake. 4 kills in that round in a 1 versus 3. Winning, and look at that last kill on Juliana. It's like she knew exactly where she was. That play style here is going to lead her to potentially be more and more MVPs in these events.
Yeah, if she keeps playing like that, absolutely, absolutely. Of course, all these plays and all the games today are made possible by our sponsors. So thank you so much to Monster Energy and the US Air Force. Without them, we wouldn't be able to watch these girls play the way they do. And we want to watch more of that. And I know you at home want to watch more of this as well. And the good news is you can, but not today. You gotta wait until tomorrow. It is tomorrow at, we are live with our panel at 4:30. Game starts at 5 p.m. I'm saying those times and they're all CET. And that is European time as in Central European time. There you go. And that is all tomorrow. I cannot wait for more Counter-Strike from these girls. Thank you so much for joining me today on the panel as well. Ms. Harvey and Potter, it has been a blast.
Yeah.
And we'll see you more tomorrow.
There are pains we gotta follow, there are pains we cannot run when we're looking down the barrel of a gun. Be the hunter or the hunted, be the predator or prey. Make some noise and let the world hear what we say. 'Cause we are one. 'Cause we are one. Can be saints, can be sinners, can be losers, can be winners. We are one. Yeah, we are one. We stand united. We fight until the end. We never stop, never break, never bend. We stand united. Together rise and fall. 'Cause it's all for one, one for all. Yeah, it's all for one for all. It is not about surviving, either living or you're dying. Stand your ground and never ever be afraid. We can choose to make a difference, we can choose to walk away. There's a choice we